Hello crafty friends, I have another haul video for you. This one dates back to August. Oh, I'm so sorry guys. The joys of renovating. Anyway, I am catching up. So this is this was sort of a more of a smaller order. So I got a few things that came out, like this one came out probably Feb last year. It was one of the Lawn Fawn stamp sets that were one of my must-haves, but every time I went to buy it, out of stock. So I finally was able to pick it up, and it's called Lovable Legends. I absolutely love the Loch Ness Monster. You've got a Yeti, and you've also got a Kraken. So I think that's just great. 3 sentiments that come with it are "You're a legend," "What's Kraken," "Unbelievable," and "Have a birthday." So I think that's great. They've got little waters, the 2 solid trees, the footprints, the little tiny ship that the Kraken can be holding, a party hat, some bubbles, some splashes, and a few hearts. And I just thought this was a really, really cool stamp set to have. I particularly, like I said, I love the Loch Ness. It's one of my favorite mythical creatures to begin with, so the fact that Lawn Fawn did their own version was just right up my alley, and you know how much I love Lawn Fawn, so yeah. So, and I don't know, it kind of is pretty cool to have a card with these sorts of mythical creatures. I do, and now you've got like there's the smaller stamp set that's the Yeti, It's Cold Outside, but now you've got sort of like this is more of a Bigfoot. I should say it's not a Yeti, it's more of a Bigfoot, I guess. So you have a couple of different options, or you can have the big one next to the little one and all that sort of stuff, and I think that's great. And you know, this Loch Ness could also be a dinosaur if you wanted it to be that sort of thing, one of those swimming kind. Don't ask me what they're called, but just for other options. So I just really like this one. Very good. I don't know, it's just super cute, and I really want to see it being used, and yeah, I think it's great. Definitely want to use like some colored acetate, or the vellum. Vellum is the word I'm looking for. In front of it, so you can actually see behind, especially in front of the Kraken, so it can like look like he's underwater sort of thing, and then he's, you know, he's dragging a ship underneath or whatever, all that sort of stuff. I think it's just a different way of having a birthday card that's a little bit fun and all that sort of stuff. So I got this one. I also got for Lawn Fawn a die set that I've been trying to get for a while, and it's for the Gleeful Gardens. It stamps out like tall grass and mushrooms, flowers, and I really want that for a heap of other cards that I wanted to do a big scene. It's got like a hummingbird and a snail and stuff like that. So I've got plans to make these really elaborate dimensional scenes, and having the die was just gonna make life easier. So I sort of put off making that card until I got this die. So now I've got it, and it's time to get to work. I also got a couple of stamp sets from W+9s. This one is Forest Friends. Love this design. It is amazing. Like, you got the tree stump, you got this little critter here that can fit in there. You can also put the bear in there. You've got a raccoon laying on a branch. The coordinating die cuts out all these images as well. You've got little flowers, acorns, and nuts that you can pile up in there as well. The great sentiments of "Hello friend, thinking of you, just checking in to say hi, and missing you." And what I love most, oh, and I like a thought bubble. So if this guy's dreaming, you can have, like, you know, nuts or whatever. But I love that it coordinates with this stamp set perfectly. And I also got the coordinating dies for this one. And it's called Curious Forest Friends. So, I don't know, to get this one, you kind of, I don't know, in my mind, I felt like I needed both of them because they coordinate together so perfectly. So, again, you've got the raccoon. This time you've got like an empty branch, so you can put the bear on it, and he's going fishing for like the honey. You've got the bear with the honey like on the ground, and the bear sort of hanging off of the branch that you can attach to the tree. The bees, the mushroom, the leaves, a log, the raccoon sort of sitting little footsteps and that sort of thing. So it's sort of just, these sets worked too well together to only sort of get one out of the two. And the coordinating dies cut up all the images to make life nice and easy, so I got those. And yes, as far as like inspiration, totally check out their blog, because there was some really amazing cards used with that, and just specifically with just like the log and the bear hanging over it, or you know, you don't have to do an elaborate scene, you can do clean and simple with this, or this guy just laying on the ground eating his honey, and you know, you can say wishing you a fun-filled day sort of thing to come with it. This one's also got I couldn't have done it without you, or thank you, so it's got some really nice sentiments to go with it. So I really like that. So yeah, I got this one. Very nice. I probably will do, I don't know, I'm kind of tending to like the stamp set almost for your clean and simple look. Like just having the focal point in the middle, you know, some nice blended background, and you know, just around the edges, and make like the image the scene. And this one here, like, I've got heaps and heaps. As long as it's a stamp set that's got like the thinner edges, you could totally put anything in that log. Love that. It could be Halloween, which is super cool as well, and versatile and all that sort of thing. So I think that's great. And I also got this from my favorite things, and it is the farm fence. So it's to go with some other stamp sets that I've got, and I just needed a fence to go with my scene, and this one just worked perfectly. So I grabbed this. I do have like a picket style fence from Lawn Fawn, which is great, but it's almost more of the garden one. This is more of a wonkier farm fence to with all my farm critters. So I wanted to get this one as well. So, okay, and the real reason I put in this order to begin with was I finally invested in a Misty. So I've been eyeing them off for a while, wondering whether or not I needed one or not. Yep. And then they announced it, like, you know, they hinted at CHA there'll be other sizes, and then I thought, oh, maybe I can get a smaller size, it's cheaper, and all that sort of stuff. It ended up being something Sandy Elnuck said in one of her videos about the Misty being that why would you spend like $15 or $20 less to get the smaller one that couldn't do as much, and then end up having to buy this one later on again. So I ended up just buying the original size, because I thought that would be the most useful to me, and I would get the most use out of it, even though it was relatively expensive. So I got this specifically from Hallmark Scrapbooking because it was a lot cheaper than Simon Says Stamp, and I mean like $20 cheaper for the exact same thing. So yeah, and the shipping was pretty much the same as what I would have paid with Simon Says Stamp as well. So $20 less was a huge difference, and I couldn't figure out why it was so different. Like HallmarkScrapbooking.com sort of mirrored exactly what it would have been to buy it directly from Sweet Petunia, which is what the company is, or My Sweet Petunia, sorry, is like the brand that designed the Misty. So anyway, I just couldn't work out why Simon Says Stamp was so much more expensive for the exact same product. This is the newer version that has the laser etched grid in the front, not just a sticker panel. It doesn't actually come faded. It should be that color, but I have a desk. My desk is next to a window, and I didn't realize that it was sitting out there, and the Australian sun does this to lots of things and fades it because our sun sucks. Anyway, so like ignore the faded part because that's not how I got it. It's just my own stupidity and leaving it sitting on my desk for too long. It did come with this little notepad of like your starter sheets, so I think there's like 10 or 15, probably 10 sheets in there. I've got one in here at the moment. The two magnets, I've done the, oh crap, the washi tape over it sort of thing so that I can pick them up easily, and it does have the black foam that you can take in and out. I do know that there was a release from, I think it is My Favorite Things. Anyway, they've released basically a copy of this. Slightly different, but essentially it's the exact same functionality of the Misty. Of course, you know, in August I didn't know about that. But if you want to find yourself like a $25 version, check out that one instead of a brand name Misty product. I've watched a couple of reviews since then, and apparently like a comparison stamping, and they ended up with the same result in your stamping. So I think there's just a few different design features because this one's obviously patented. So the other one's changed up slightly different. So I mean, it's something different, but it's a cheaper model, but it should get you very similar results if you don't have the budget for the Misty. So I thought I'd just mention that because there is something new out there for you to try. But I have used this a couple times, even though I haven't had much of a chance to do any crafting. I was doing sentiments with it and using pigment ink, and the fact that you can just stamp it twice or 3 times to get a perfect solid stamped image is amazing. I could not believe it. I thought that was, I don't know. So for that alone, to get the perfect impression of something that, you know, especially for solid stamps, and I really suck at lining up the stamp the second time. Like, it's just not going to happen. I will just have to redo the whole thing, or fill it in with a pen or something else, some other purpose behind it. So anyway, this one, just for that alone, I was just like, oh my god, oh, this is so great. So yeah, I invested in one. So anyway, that is this haul video, and I will continue filming the next one. See ya, bye.